Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog once more here on Mog's Cast, playing some Kerbal Space Program, and as you can tell today with that intro, we are doing a build episode, but we're also going to be doing a launch episode. The reason for this is it's going to be a pretty short build, because we're just bringing up another part to the OMPL-1, our first orbital satellite up in Kerbin orbit. And the reason it's going to be so short is because I've also already done the calculations to some degree, is what I mean, that this launcher here, if we break this apart and save it, for example, we're just going to call this thing Launcher 1 for now, and I know for a fact, because I used MechJeb to calculate about how much weight this OMPL-1 final stage actually was. It's an approximate 10-ton payload is what the word I'm looking for. So that launch vessel, Launcher 1, can launch approximately 10 tons into an orbit. A pretty good orbit, possibly out to the Mun, with how much fuel we had left on the station. Now, the reason I've done that is because now that we have Launcher 1 saved, we're going to actually start a new build. And I'm going to be doing a little differently this time. This one's actually, I should probably check this first. Grabbed our pod. It's just going to be the Mark 1 lander pod, and the reason for this is it's the right size to put a docking clamp right on top, right like that. Actually, does this one look okay? It doesn't clip at all. That looks pretty solid. I'm going to use that one instead. The reason for that is because, yeah, it fits. The other pods were either too small. I didn't want to do a multi-person pod because it's heavy, so we went with the lighter, just single-person pod. I guess I could have done this one, but all the same, it's not a big deal. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to put on an ASAS, just so that it's there. And we're going to be attaching on, basically, since I don't have a docking node just yet, like I don't have that six-way piece, we're just going to be kind of building our own sort of docking array, and we're also going to make it a little versatile. I'm going to put the Hitchhiker thing, God, what's the word I'm looking for? The Hitchhiker box, whatever that thing is called. Hitchhiker storage container, that's the one. It holds up to 4 Kerbals, I think. I'm pretty sure, let's double check that. Yeah, 4 Kerbals can sit in that thing. And before I forget, we're not taking Jeb on this mission. That's going to be somebody else. We're not going to take him yet. Let's do Kerbonaut David for now. That might change sooner or later. But okay, so we've got that on there. I also want to make this a docking array, like I was saying, because we don't have that capability yet on the station, so I'm putting in some good amount of docking ports here to provide some versatility and construction options for our station. So there's that. Why don't we take a peek here at some panels? These are the 1x6s. That looks good to me. Why don't we do a set of 1x6s right there and another set right there? That looks good. That'll give us some decent power generation. We already have a bit on there, I think. Actually, you know what? I don't really like how those look. I'm going to put one of the covered ones on. Right, if I can get the tilt just right, that looks okay, I guess. Let's just do, if I get that to sit, right, like, it's always cockeyed, screw it, doesn't matter. Why don't we go ahead, we're going to put a couple of batteries on here as well, just so we have a little extra generation of power. Can we click these in? Can we do it? Not quite. How about right there, looks good. Okay, so that's on there. Let's put another attachment down here. The structure's what I wanted, just like that. And then we're going to attach, where's the other docking ring I want? That's the one. Boom, right like that. That's pretty much how we're gonna set this thing up this time. I do want to put some lights, so we are gonna do that. I'm going to put them right there, and then another set facing up in this way, just to kind of illuminate the rest of the station. That looks pretty decent to me, I think. Oh, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting ASAS, or not, I'm sorry, not ASAS, RCS. I'm forgetting that. We want RCS, because if we don't have that, well, this is going to be a heck of a thing to try to dock. Just like that. Let's toss some tanks on here. And that's pretty much going to be good enough, I'd think, to make this work. Why don't we do these tanks right like... Geez, that thing just looks horrible to you, doesn't it? They just never sit quite flush at these spots. It's always just cockeyed. Can we do it? Come on, sit right, you bastard. Sit right. Oh, I hate you sometimes. Ah, fuck it. Who cares? Okay. So that's hooked up on there. That's pretty well balanced. I suppose it's decent enough to get us docked. Okay, so we've got RCS, that's the only fuel we have on this thing. We'll be attaching rockets to it to launch it up. How heavy is this as is? Let's grab our mech jet and actually take a peek. 7.91. That's fine. That's below our threshold of what we wanted to. The other one was like 9 and a bit. So 10 was kind of being generous. It could get up there, no problem. It's got enough fuel, but going lower will make it a little easier. I think I want to put and keep a mech jet unit on this station finally. So we're going to put one on here at a decent spot, decent location. How about right there? I don't want it upside down though, that might mess with things. Oh, nope, don't want symmetry either. Away with you, symmetry. Okay, right there. That'll work. So that's looking okay to me. Let's go ahead and we're going to attach the sub-assembly and pretty much call this thing good, I think. Right there. We'll need to restrut this thing up, and then it'll be ready to launch, but why don't we go ahead, was it OMPL 2 dash Hitchhiker. Save that. So there's going to be our rocket. We'll get this thing strutted up and out on the launch pad. Okay everybody, we are back here. We are on the launch pad, and as you can see, we do have Kerbonaut David, Kerbonaut Reynard, and Sergeant Keenan here, who are going to be going on this mission with us. As you may have noticed, if you're familiar with how this is set up, Kerbonaut Reynard is actually going to be our captain today. David, you had a fairly low courage level, so I figured you couldn't be the pilot. We stuck you back in the Hitchhiker tank along with Keenan. So they're going to be coming up and going to be some new residents on our station. You may also notice I'm not using Smart ASS that we usually do with MechJeb. I'm just going to be using it for its info panels and using the new SAS because it's fine. You can adjust mid motion, so that's fine by me. That's all I really liked from MechJeb's you know, their system. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing ready to go. I'm gonna spool up the throttle to about half. Actually, I'm gonna start a little lower for initial burn. So 3, 2, 1, and ignition. And here we go with the launch. Let's crank up our throttle a bit and let that thing just burn itself out. And let's get up into this atmosphere. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, starting to tilt ourselves over just a bit. We are definitely gaining speed a little quicker than previously, not by much, but it seems to be crawling a bit faster, a bit higher, a bit faster is what I'm trying to say. So let's get this thing moving. Our initial solid rocket boosters are going to be burning out here pretty quick. They're about halfway through. Got some lights. I'm going to kick on some lights just to make that a little more contrasty in there. I don't even know if that's the right word choice. Don't even worry about it. If you guys were lucky enough to have been around before the new year started, you would have noticed that I had a video posted for giveaways for Christmas gifts. A few people got some good giveaways. We got rid of some copies of a copy of Primal Carnage, FTL, and Rome, Total War. Not number 2, first one. But we had a lot of fun doing it, and I also announced that I would be giving away another copy of Kerbal Space Program once we got toward the end of this season, which is going to be probably another week or two. I want to make sure that we get at least 25 episodes in this season, and that's A and B counting as one episode for most of these split episodes. I know it's like only episode 14, maybe? That's probably wrong. Releasing our first drop tanks. And our speed is still slowly climbing, but it's, well, no, it's just dropping for a moment, but we are still, you know, going up. But yeah, I'm going to be giving away another copy of Kerbal Space Program. So probably a few more weekends here. I'll keep you posted, of course, on these weekend updates. Probably if some hints and things here during the week on those episodes, but mostly on the things you'll need to know are going to be these Kerbal Space Program episodes for obvious reasons. But if you were here for last time, I did give away one copy, and it's a subscriber-only thing, so if you're not a subscriber, unfortunately, that's one of the perks for being part of the channel, being part of the regular audience, is I do I do like to give back to the people who are here actually watching. As much as I do appreciate all the non-subscriber views, I really do. I just want to make it a little more special for those that actually take the time to subscribe. So we're getting up there, getting close to the 17-kilometer mark. I'm going to start tilting ourselves over just a bit. Start watching. So time to Apoaps. We are pushing that out, so we are making some headway here, slow but steady. Our, let's see, orbit is 27, so we've got about 28, 29 kilometer Apoaps thus far that we've built. We are still cranking away. Second drops tank is about to go. And there it goes, kicking those off. Let's recenter ourselves on rotation, and I'm going to start tilting over a bit. That looks better. Now that's going to start pushing that out quite a bit and helping us build our speed because we're tilting over quite a bit more. I know I've done this pretty quick. Oh, we're like flying straight to the sun, aren't we? Stabilize that roll. Don't want to go too far. Stabilize that roll. Looking good there. Apoaps of about 55 kilometers and climbing. About 15 kilometers ahead of our current position is where our Apoaps is in this arc. At about 60, I'm going to start tilting over now. Start pushing that out for speed. Now this is what I want to be watching. The time to Apoaps. If that starts rapidly dropping or we're approaching that number, that means that we're not burning quite as well as we could be. We're not gaining as much altitude as we need to be. But I think we're doing okay. Our Apoaps is still rising at about 66.7, 66.8, 0.9, 67 kilometers. We're almost pushing into the actual atmosphere, or into the actual space around Kerbin. Breaking through that atmosphere. Now, because of what's involved with doing this rendezvous and getting this ship, this part up into the into a rendezvous position with the station, it is going to be cut. This isn't going to be a fluid video just like it was the last time or two when we do these full missions. The rendezvous can take a little while, so I'll be cutting it out until we get closer to the station. But I want to make sure that you guys see us getting into a proper orbit, doing all that good stuff, and making sure that I'm not trying to keep me honest. That's what I'm wanting you guys to see, is that I am trying to play this legitimately. I know that I've admitted to using hyper edit thing once or twice before, after, like, during the patches when they come through and just destroy our entire file. I view that as a little differently. There may be some differences of opinion there, but I do try to keep it as legit as possible without wasting too much of my time. We are in space, we're passing the 70k mark. I have our Apoaps at about 100, so let's go ahead, zip over here, set up this, and let's get ourselves into a proper orbit before we drop into getting set up for the burn. 37, that's not what we want. We want a bit higher. How about that? That looks fine to me. Let's bring ourselves down to that node. Start burning out. It's asking for about 8 seconds full burn. We might have that fuel in these outer drop tanks still for a full burn at 8 seconds. That's a possibility for sure. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Get our heading right there, and I'm gonna fast forward us. Shabam! That's close enough for me. And almost missed it. I'm not under acceleration. Don't tell me I'm under acceleration. Kerbal space program. Okay, right there. That looks fine to me. Crank that up a bit. Let's go full burn and get this thing done with. 91. I'm gonna kill that just a bit and go slow. Up. We are in an orbit. That looks good to me. 100 by 98. That looks perfect. Now where are we in relation to this guy? I didn't even look when I probably should have. Set as target. We are pretty darn far away. Our angles are off. I'm going to correct those. Come back in as we get closer in for this. Okay guys, so we are just catching up with the station here. We just flew by. I accidentally hit the record button. I thought I hit it. Hit the quick save. My bad. So yeah, we're just zeroing out our velocity here, our relative velocity to the target, and we're going to be bringing this thing back in line. I need to kind of pay more attention to what I'm doing. This is the up and down. It's in line with these engines, so it's what's been throwing me off. I've been playing it like it was the flat way, but that's alright. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and get a little closer. Zip on in. I don't have closest approach on this window, that's fine though. Though what I am gonna do is kick off those outer tanks. Zip out here a little bit, separate ourselves. Now I need to flip around and actually stop ourselves. Because we're going to have some debris out here, it looks like. And in fact, why don't we just do this? Get rid of that one too. We got no need for it. All I need is the little bit left in this tank, and we should be fine. There we go. Well, I guess not quite zeroed out. I went a little too far. Spin back around. We'll find that retrograde. Bringing ourselves to that retrograde marker for the target. Oh boy. There's that. We are getting all zeroed out. Those things should be flying away along with everything else pretty quick here. Now, I'm gonna make sure that we that I save here. Quick save, F5. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the other rocket, detach it so that it exposes the docking port. Nope. 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 Yes. Okay, let's get this thing on a spin, shall we? Ooh, it's got those things on it. How do I put those away? Is it 1? 2? 2 puts away those. 1 doesn't seem... Oh, 1 does put those away. Okay, cool. So we have those folding away. Let me make sure that we don't lose anything there. We're zipping around. I'm going to detach that. Stabilize. Let's flip this one out another direction as well. Here we go. Boom. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to position this thing facing 180. Let's simply get that thing good there. Switch back over to this one. Are we still targeted on it? We sure are. Let's find that retrograde marker for this new now, since it got itself moving in by that fling. And we'll re-zero ourselves out and catch back up with it. In fact, just as we're zeroing out, I've got plenty of mono. So let's just get that a bit zeroed out. How about right there? Detach. Turn on RCS. Flip over to this. And let's get moving, shall we? Let's go in for our dock. I'm gonna speed us up, just so it doesn't take forever. Okay. So as you can see, we are definitely coming in there. I'm gonna turn on fine controls for this. Flip over real quick. Oh, I didn't mean to turn off SAS. Let's get that centered a bit. Turn back on RCS now that we're facing our node there. Let's get that a little more in line. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, docking node's going to be on the far side. So let's zip over there. That looks better. Bring ourselves a bit closer. Down. Forward. How are we looking? Good on fuel. Almost out on electrical charge. Though we have our... ooh, let's slow ourselves down. That we do have our... these guys. Solar panels is what I'm trying to say. That's the word. Okay. Let's open our docking port. Recenter our camera a bit. And get moving in. In fact, I'm going to rotate us. Oh, there's our top. Let's turn back on SAS so that holds our position there a bit. Oh, are we going to bump? I don't think we're going to bump, but we might even get close enough to just magnetize ourselves right like this. Oh, tell me. Tell me. Not quite. Very well. We'll bring ourselves to a slowdown. Oh, don't want to go under it, but we do want to bring that back around. Let's back ourselves out of there a bit, raise ourselves up. We're going to need to rotate. Oh, not with RSS on. Or RCS. God, I keep messing that one up. SAS back on, switch back to translation mode. Zoom back in, but we need to move up. And start moving toward the target again. Sheesh. It's been a while since I've actually done a docking maneuver. It's kind of nice. Just been a lot of missions, launching rovers, launching rockets, a lot of the huge. Okay, so we're coming in here. As you can see, we're getting all lined up. I'd say that's pretty good there. Bring that over a bit more. We are no longer in time warp, so let's move forward. Yeah, okay, we're on track. Let's zoom on in a bit, just so I can watch this all unfold. So what I'm trying to do here is get our dot and our very center reticle right over the pink, because that is where we're heading. Oh, slow ourselves down a bit, bring ourselves in, and turn off those two, let this thing work itself out. Boom. There we go. Our first official, I guess, plug-in for our station is attached. Not exactly lined up. I wanted to get it over 90 degrees, but that's okay. It's still lined up fairly well. Not a big deal. Why don't we go ahead? We'll redeploy those. Let's deploy these ones. And by these ones, I of course mean solar panels. Kick those out. We're looking good. Lights are on. Everyone is home. So there we have it. Our next official part has been added to our station. Oh, wigging out camera here, wigging out. But cool, thanks so much for watching, guys. I think we're going to do another double episode like this with build and launch, I guess, for tomorrow as well, is the plan. We're going to be adding on another unit to this. I don't entirely know what it's going to be yet. I guess we'll see. I want to try to launch up all of the science instruments we currently have and get them on the station as well. So plan for that tomorrow, and we'll see you then, guys. Cheers.